please join me in welcoming Jennifer Worick.
Yay!
What a great introduction. The great thing about PNBA was somebody posted a photo the next day, another author with piles of their books, and the caption was, here are all my books for the dessert event. And not surprisingly, the longest line was for a woman who had a book called Things I Want to Punch in the Face. So I think that was said with a little sour grapes, but a bookseller forwarded me that photo and it made me extremely happy. Anyway, I wanted to thank Tegan because she's always been such a supporter of me and authors in Seattle. She herself is an author and blogger and a total delight to work with, so I am sure we're going to be seeing her plugged into the book community going forward. So I wanted to thank her for setting this all up and having such great snacks. I usually bring my own punch, but I got here and it was already set up. It's like a dream come true, a book fairy. Anyway, I wanted to kind of give you the lay of the land about the event. I'm going to kind of talk about the backstory of the book and then read a few entries. And then I have some special friends who are feeling punchy as well who are going to get up and share some punches. And then we have a really fun game called Punch in the Face or Make Out With. I will tell you the rules of the game when we begin to play it, but I will need 3 volunteers to play, and there are prizes involved that don't involve making out. That's negotiable. And then we'll just have more snacks, and I'll be signing books at the table over there. And as Tegan said, it's great for yourself and fits into most stockings. It's only $11.95. I mean, come on, you can't beat that with a stick. So, anyway, I don't handle anger well. I never have. I was thinking about this today. I always kind of held in all my anger growing up. And I have this memory of in college getting so steamed that I punched my computer in the face. I think that was the beginning of punching things in the face, which often didn't serve me well to physically punch things in the face. So in 2009, I had a really bad spate of events happen. I had unexpected breakup. That was followed 2 days later by having to put my cat to sleep unexpectedly. You don't wake up that day and know that it's that day, and I was not prepared for that. Seeing as I'd been crying for the past 2 days about he who shall not be named. So that was a Thursday, and then the following Monday I got a call that a book I had just turned in, this was January, I had just spent the entire holidays trying to finish a book manuscript. The publisher had cut half their list because of the economy, and my book was slashed as well. So my book got canceled, and then 2 days after that, I had surgery, which was just like the cherry on top of a suck sundae. So I was really angry and crying all the time, and I don't know about you, but when all those bad things start happening, you just kind of get really stressed and feel like you're on your last nerve. You snap at your best friends who are well-intentioned, and I found myself doing that. And one night I was probably watching American Idol, and Ryan Seacrest probably put me over the edge. Seacrest out. Yes. And so I had this idea while I was sitting on the couch to start this blog, and the name immediately came to me. Actually, the title came first, which sometimes the best book ideas happen that way. If you think of the title, you figure out what the book's about. And my very first entry was something that has annoyed me all my life, which is waiters who top off your coffee without asking. You know what I'm talking about. You get that biosphere in the cup exactly right with all the levels of sugar and cream, and you're drinking decaf, and they just come by with normal coffee and slosh it in, and you have to start the process over. And they don't usually leave you enough room to start over. So that kind of began this long, storied love affair with punching things in the face. And I love the title because it's so malleable. I can punch people, places, and things. I can punch myself. I can punch my GI tract. I can punch things that don't have faces. And people got it really quickly. It really caught on. We had a punch bowl the first year. We had so many people following it that I invited people to write their own punches on the blog. Which one storied punch that someone here tonight wrote resulted in death threats. It was about recumbent bikers. I'll just say that. It's still on the blog if you want to go back and read the post. So there's been a lot of ups and downs. And then last year, it all came back to coffee again. I punched 20-minute coffee prep, which I think El Diablo might be guilty of because they spend their time making little devils faces in the foam or the north face of Mount St. Helens in there. And then somebody reposted it on Facebook, a Facebook success story, and a publisher saw it and asked if I had considered turning it into a book, which of course I had, and I had the proposal ready to go. And so we turned the manuscript around really quickly, and the result is this handy little book that you see in front of you. The really hard challenge was picking just 101 things to put in the book. More people here tonight helped me cull the list, and we had to get strategic. It's like, well, you already have a design entry, so maybe you could cut this one. Because they all were like my children. It was like Sophie's Choices. They all were funny to me. And so that leads me into reading a few. And what's been really great about, I've done a few of these punch parties, and what's been fabulous is you don't think, you're sitting there all chill and thinking, and being very zen, you know, you may have just come from yoga class or something, and you don't think you're going to share, and what happens is I'll read something, and it begins a whole conversation about other things that are related to it that people want to punch in the face. So feel free to share as we go. And one of the things that gets a lot of feedback is foodies. And I have a punch rating of 3 for this. They all have fist punch ratings in the book, which has been great. And little factoids as well. Don't sniff it. Don't eyeball it. Don't comment on how it's plated like a pagoda or a Zen garden. Don't detail the 39 steps it took to make it. Don't start comparing it to the meal you had at Il Bui. And don't complain about the new chef while alternately giving me his culinary CV. I don't want to hear it. I just want to eat it. I love food as much as the next person. I like food the way Homer likes his donuts. But a food snob, I am not. You'll never find me asking whether my Copper River salmon was gill-netted and bled and dressed on site. I'll never lift a fiddlehead fern and wax rhapsodic about hunting the Zenmai in East Asia while traveling with Anthony Bourdain. I'll fork that fern and put it where it belongs. Mad Betty. Don't put nettle pasta on a pedestal. Put it in your pie hole. After all, it's food. You're supposed to eat it, not dissect it. Sometimes I just want to eat a box of mac and cheese, and not the Annie's kind. And I don't need you to tell me how to zest it up with Emmentaler and linguiça. Don't take the comfort out of my food, or I might have to bust out the mandolin and create a whole new dish of hurt. So what has happened with the foodies one is, these have been some things that have come up. I hate it when I have a potluck and people bring all the ingredients and start making it at my house. It kind of defeats the purpose of the potluck. And then while on the subject of potluck, somebody else said, I'm a food writer, and it really annoys me because people always say, can you bring the main dish? You're such a good cook. And somebody else brings leftover brownies. It doesn't quite seem equitable. And then I was recently at a potluck. I don't know why there's a potluck theme here. That was like a Portlandia skit. It was like, this is gluten-free, but it has eggs in it. And then, this isn't gluten-free. I used oatmeal, but I did use almond flour. And then somebody else had made a cake using like agave or honey or some other thing in lieu of sugar. And the bottom of the cake was too sticky and sugary, so she took floss and cut the top off and just brought the top. She left like the caramelized, like, it tasted like a pineapple upside down cake without the pineapple. Or at least I imagined that's what it would have tasted like if she had brought the good part. So, you know, I'm starting to like see that food restrictions are something that I want to punch in the face. I mean, we all have things that we're trying to avoid and stuff, but it does become ludicrous when we all come together. So that's been some of the things that around the foodie issue that has come up. I'm also going to read another one that might relate to a few people here. Burning Man. Punch rating 4. Someone who's not here recently sent me a video of Burning Man revelers reciting, "Oh, the places you'll go." It sent me to the medicine cabinet. Just watching it gave me a sugar rush by way of a heat stroke, by a straight up migraine. But nothing can cure what ails me. Lacking a peyote button or those handy Hunger Games suicide berries, I'm forced to resort to writing as a way to alleviate my malady. Burning Man started in the mid-1980s as an artsy-fartsy homage to the solstice, burning effigies as a form of radical self-expression. Clearly a hippie euphemism for a low-grade case of pyromania, and not the totally rad Def Leppard kind. I love fire like the heat miser, but this creeps me out. After sitting through The Wicker Man, the original one, only to watch a dude burned alive as an offering for the harvest, I am not down with towering infernos. Then there are just the hipster hippies dropping acid while dropping trow. No. No. Just no. The places I'll go? I'm pretty sure my list doesn't include Black Rock City. I learned so many things on Wikipedia when I'm punching. Let's see. Molly Ringwald's prom dress in Pretty in Pink. Punch rating 5. Biggest cinematic letdown. After showing mad personal style throughout the entire movie, no one, and I mean no one, rocks pearls and flowered fabric like Molly Ringwald. The girl shows up defiantly at prom to prove to the world and to Blaine, the insipid boy with the crazy eyes and white pleated pants, that she's not broken. It's just a thought, but she might have chosen a more suitable dress to take a stand in, something that didn't scream home-sewn hot mess. Andy should have left Fiona's dress alone. I want to bitch slap that polyester frankenfrock with the collar and mesh insert, shred it, and burn it. Oh wait, it's probably treated with flame retardant. Fire bad. Let's hope Andy got that scholarship and used it at FIT or Parsons. Tim Gum would have been a service to her. Let's see, a couple more. Prolific dead people. Punch rating 4. I see dead people everywhere. As if I didn't already have enough self-loathing, dead people are churning out more stuff than I am. Tupac seems to have a new album of unreleased tracks dropping every other year, and he just showed up at Coachella as a hologram. Michael Jackson had barely settled into his cryogenic chamber before the output kicked in. Jeff Buckley and Stieg Larsson didn't cash in until they checked out. Like Another Day at the Office, the late David Foster Wallace posthumously published another book that none of us will be smart enough to understand. In a creepy turn of events, Nat King Cole duetted with his daughter Natalie from beyond the grave, even managing to join her during a live performance. They may have flatlined, but the status quo seems curiously unchanged. I think I'm a pretty useful member of society. I knock out words, articles, blogs, books. I create. But I'm a sad-ass somnambulant snail compared with these pulseless workaholics. Why do we even try when I'm getting lapped by corpses? Please, folks, give it a rest. And then I'll end with this and open up the floor to others. Namaste. Punch rating 4. When I hear someone say namaste, I want to beat them in their sustainable clothing with a red stick. I mean, fine, say it at the end of yoga class if you absolutely have to. But when I hear it outside of the ashram, it harshes my mellow. The likely culprits are people who get their kids hopped up on carob chips and let them run around Trader Joe's because they're spirited. Namaste means the light in me honors the light in you. When I'm in Shavasana during my brief forays into yoga, and I hear this, I throw up a little in my mouth. Lying on my back, well, you can imagine that this isn't a good thing. The light in me wants to knock your lights out. Or better yet, reach in and rip out your heart chakra. Saying namaste doesn't make you enlightened. It just makes you a tool in an organic bamboo hoodie. Okay, so let's see. How do we start? Thank you.